a couple of muscles that you know. One is called the transverse abdominis, and it's the one that's below your six pack. And it's the one that acts like a corset. So it's really important to stabilize your core. And it starts from the back body, wraps around, attaches to your ribs and hip, and then attaches in the front as well. So it's just like a corset. So we're going to look at different ways of bringing awareness to that so you can really draw in and engage it. Because if you don't engage it, and you don't have awareness of your core, you go to bend and pick something up and not be engaged and ready for that. And that's when you have injury, because you're not prepared. Your body's not prepared to lift something up that might be unexpectedly a little heavier. So hopefully this class will bring a little bit more mindfulness into how to like, oh, stop, do a couple of little things, get my core ready, bend over. And you'll notice how much easier it is to pick things up and to do things, especially when we're carrying boxes and carrying packages now and getting ready for the holidays and lifting big things up out of the cabinets and all, which you shouldn't be doing a lot of that, but that which you can and you're feeling good about. Hey, Louise.
Hey.
All right, so we're going to get started right away with the centering, a little body scan, and then throughout the whole class, just different ways of tapping into that TA, the transverse abdominis, as well as the gluteus maximus, which is your butt muscles. The gluteus maximus is your big one. The gluteus medius is your small butt muscle. And those will help to stabilize the pelvis and the core as well, and the knee. All right. So the more stable the core can be, the more aligned everything else will be. So it's just a really, really important set of muscles that we can never give too much attention to. So this is a recorded class, so you'll be able to go back to it because I think it's a really important one. And I think it's one that's worthy of practicing. And it's really a little complicated for me to teach because it's so much reminders and very specific cues that if you don't get it the first time, maybe the second or third time you hear it, you'll hear different ways and something will finally click, because it's a little complicated to teach, it's a little complicated to listen to. So just give yourself grace and know that you can go back to it. Okay. All right, so let's get settled into our space first. So rock side to side and get the sitting bones really rooted and grounded into your chair. And walk the feet a little bit ahead of the knees as you scooch forward in that chair so that you're creating space between your back body and the back of the chair, because just by sitting up, what that requires core. Press the feet into the earth gently, and that will help to send a little chain of muscle reminders up to the core, and use that pressure on the feet to get length in your spine. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears, soften them back and down just a few times. We talked last week about the back body, the shoulder blades. All right, so we still need to keep a little bit of engagement as those shoulder blades gently draw toward each other, not forced, but a little bit of leaning in toward each other to help engage the back body as well. And then gently rest your hands on your thighs as you slide your elbows back a little bit, and that will help to open the heart space. So this is a beautiful seated mountain pose. And if you sit like this every time you sit, oh my gosh, your core will get stronger just by sitting in this posture. So take 2 or 3 breaths in, breathing in through the nose and out through an open mouth, just to let go of any expectations or thoughts about what brought you here, and just be present. And then if you feel safe, invite the eyes to close or soften. And just begin to draw the awareness inward as you are going to be invited to take a tour of the inner landscape of your body. Today, our yoga practice begins with awareness, noticing but not judging. And just taking notes as if you are the observer of your own body. Not to assume that you have difficult sensations or difficult emotions that are coming up, but when they do, and if they do, one of the first ways of working with difficult sensations is to notice them and not try to fight against it. Almost trying just to accept it as it is without initially trying to change it. So by not pushing away and noticing it, we can teach our nervous system to down-regulate the sensation. And if we feed into sensations in a negative or compulsive way, always talking about it or always giving it a life of its own, we do that. We give it power over us. So if we can learn to take some time to become acquainted with those sensations without judgment, and then in that noticing, use the breath to invite a softening of this physical or emotional discomfort. And that is a learned skill, and yoga helps us to learn that skill. One of the tools that we can use to practice that skill is the body scan. And the body scan that I'll be offering is you from Mindful Awareness Research Center from UCLA. So this is pretty much verbatim. So again, practicing this 2 to 3 minute body scan can be a wonderful tool to teach you how to bring inner awareness, that interoception into your body so that you can notice, not push away, and then use the breath to soften. So it's a beautiful skill. So see if you can't notice where the breath is moving in your body, starting with the sensations of the breath moving into the nostrils, down the throat. Taking awareness to your chest to see what part of your thoracic cavity or your belly is moving with the breath. And then enrich the breath. Take a few deeper breaths in, allowing the belly to soften and round, side ribs to expand, and the chest to broaden with each breath. And just feeling those physical sensations of the belly softening, the side ribs expanding, the chest broadening. And then as you exhale, just a gentle letting go of all of that. Easy does it, no forcing. Bringing in more oxygen to enliven the body. And each exhalation, inviting a sense of relaxing a little bit more deeply. Begin to notice the feet on the floor, the sensations of the feet touching the floor, the weight and pressure, any vibrations or temperature of the feet on the floor. Notice your buttocks and the backs of the legs against the chair. Notice if there's pressure, pulsing, heaviness, or lightness. Notice your back body, upper back, middle back, lower back, whether it's touching the back of the chair or standing away from the chair. Notice the physical sensations of the back body. And taking your attention to your stomach area. Notice if your stomach is tense or tight, let it soften. Use the breath to soften the muscles of the belly without judgment. Notice your hands. Notice if they're tense or tight, dry or moist. See if you can allow them to soften and unfurl the fingers a bit. Notice your arms. Feel any sensation in the arms as you let the shoulders be soft. Maybe the arms feel heavy, relaxed. Notice your neck and throat. Maybe even taking a swallow. Notice the softness in the throat, or notice if there's tension. And invite a softening with the breath. Soften your jaw. Let your facial muscles be soft. Putting space between the teeth and distance between the eyes. Allow the temples and cheeks to feel heavy. Then notice your whole body present. Take one more breath. Be aware of your whole body as best you can. Notice what you notice about the sensations of your body. Here, present, sitting on the chair. And then when you're ready, blink your eyes open. Take a breath in, move around as you need to. Rock back and forth, rub the legs, stay connected with sensations of the body. Rub the knees, legs. Good. Right. And then if you have the ball, grab your little ball. You should have your little ball, your blocks nearby, and just roll the foot on the ball. Feel the sensations of the foot massaging against the ball. Notice any additional sensations you feel with this. If you feel the knee, hip flexors. Can you move the ball around to different parts of your foot that may not usually get attention? Toes. Spread the ball across the toes. And then stop. Put the foot back on the floor. Just take a moment to sense the foot on the floor. And we'll go to the other side. I took a yoga class yesterday with not a yoga center teacher. And I realized that she talked so much that I never got my own time to notice and sense. So I think, I bet I do that. I'll try to create a few more pauses of silence so you can sense into your own body what you're noticing. All right, set that off to the side. Feel the feet on the floor. And back to your beautiful mountain pose we set up at the beginning of practice. Lower the chin to the chest. And sweep your right ear over your right shoulder. Left arm dangles. Reach the left fingertips down towards the earth until you feel a sensation of a stretch from earlobe to shoulder all the way down to your fingertips. And then gently swing the arm back and forth and just notice the sensations. Any pulsing in the fingertips, lengthening in the neck. And let's take it to the other side. We'll sweep it over to the other direction. And lower those right fingertips down, give it a swing, gentle swing. And adjust as you need to enhance sensation. Even noticing difference from side to side. And take a nice breath in, and as you exhale, bring the hand back to the thigh, sweep the chin back to center. And just stretch the fingers out wide. Press out through the heel of the hand, the palm of the hand. Curl those fingertips in and make a gentle fist and fling. Comparing one hand to the other. And make some circles with those wrists. Full breath in, audible breath out. And then reach the hands down by your side, stretch the fingers out wide, roll the shoulders back, drawing the shoulder blades toward each other, and stretch the fingertips down toward the earth. Stretch across the top of the shoulders and lower the chin in the direction of the chest to change the sensation in the back of the body. Gently lift the chin back up, draw the shoulders up towards your ears, full breath in. And exhale with an audible. 2 more, inhale. 1 more, inhale. Open the arms out wide. Give yourself a hug, one arm on top of the other. Give yourself a squeeze and soften the shoulders. Gently twist towards the whatever side you choose and look over that shoulder. And come back to center, look the other direction. Twist the other way. And come back to center, open the arms out to the side, big stretch in, reach the arms up overhead slowly, notice the shoulders. Lengthen the spine, draw the belly in, and then palms together, lower the hands down to your heart. Good. Take those fingertips on the shoulder, rotate the elbows even a little bit more. Pay some attention to the back body. Elbows up, back, down and around. Inhale, elbows up. And exhale, open up through that chest. More full breath in. And out, elbows point forward, soften shoulders down. Lower the chin to the chest, elbows draw toward each other, and round your back body into cat. Big stretch across the back of the shoulder blades. Lengthen your spine back up, open the arms out to the side, draw the shoulder blades together, lift the heart. Eye gaze goes up. And then one more time, wrap yourself in a big hug. If you remember what arm was on top, see if you can't put the other arm on top. Chin to the chest, round the back, doesn't matter. And then inhale, lift the heart, open the arms out to the side, press the shoulder blades toward each other. And then neutral spine, reach the arms up overhead, eye gaze goes up towards the fingertips, big breath in, and then hands down to the heart. Good. Take your hands onto your thighs, feet out wide. Press the feet into the floor, the hands into the thighs, and hinge forward with a straight spine, leading with the heart. Head and neck are in alignment, stretch through the inner thighs. What do you notice about the outer feet, outer hips? Press the feet into the floor and push the sitting bones into the chair and lift the heart space a little bit more. Nice, good. Lift back up, breathe in, and exhale, hinge forward again. Now take that right hand, place the right hand on the elbow on the thigh, and a gentle twist to the left. Just gentle twist. And back to center. Now place the right forearm on the thigh. Press the elbow into the thigh to lengthen, and gentle twist to the right. And back to center again. Press the hands onto the thighs and lift back up. Walk your feet back into center. All right. We're going to talk about that TA, the solar plexus. So just give your belly a rub, a little bit below the ribs, but above the belly button in that space. And then start to rub it and tap it a little more vigorously. I'm going to bring some sensation into the solar plexus. Call this fire in the belly. Just tapping, getting sensation. Breathe in through the nose, out through an open mouth. And one more inhale. Good. And then stop that. Notice the tingling on the skin. And that is the area that we want to get deeper into. All right. So how do we tap into that deep corset, transverse abdominis, solar plexus muscle? Couple ways, all right? One is, imagine I'm standing in front of you, all right? And I am gonna punch you right in the stomach. Well, I would never do that, but what are you gonna do to guard yourself, all right? So take a breath in, let the belly pooch out, and then think about me punching yourself. What are you gonna do? You're gonna draw that belly in and you're gonna guard yourself so that it doesn't hurt so much. You may even round your back a little bit and curl that belly in, all right? So feel that tension in the belly. Think about somebody punching you. Just keep holding that, all right? They're punching, 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 and you're trying to keep that nice and firm. And what do you notice about the back body? Can you feel a little bit of that corset working in the back body where the tension in the belly is creating some tension in the back body as well? Okay, now take a breath in that you can't very much, but a little breath in, and then release that. And then just notice the difference of tensing that up in the front and back body and releasing it. Did you feel that? Okay, another way is the Queen's cough, which we talk about all the time. So get your Queen's wave ready. And then just a little, oh, excuse me. And when you, when you cough, you'll feel the stomach muscles kind of bounce into the abdominal wall. And then hold that there. Hold it and see, hold it, hold it, hold it, keep holding it. Notice if you feel any sensation in the back body. So you feel the sensation in the back body, you're actually really engaging that TA muscle, not just your six pack in the front. Well, it does help. And then release that. And you get a little release in the back body as well. Okay, the third way, and what you're doing is assessing to see which one helps you to assess and access that stomach muscle better. I want you to think about your hip points, your pelvic points here, your hip points. And imagine there's a grapefruit sitting between those hip points. And you've got this crank, and you are using the crank to move those hip points closer together to squeeze the grapefruit between your bones. So think about that. You're squeezing, squeezing, squeezing the juice out of the grapefruit. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You may get more of your lower abdominal muscles this way. So squeeze that, hold it, hold it, hold it. Keep squeezing the grapefruit. You're getting all the last bit of juice out of that grapefruit. Feeling a little bit lower belly. And then release that. And notice the release of tension where you sense that most in your body. So you may want to use one, all of them, whatever, but that's one way to access that TA muscle. Yeah, I can say just draw your belly in towards your spine, but a lot of times what happens is people just suck in like they're trying to zip up skinny jeans, you know, like when you're taught when you're a kid, don't let your belly hang out. Growing up with 6 sisters, imagine how much of that we got, right? I told you about those body image issues, but really think about going from the inside out rather than trying to suck your gut in with your breath. That's not sustainable. Okay. Any questions on that? That makes sense? Sorta. It'll make more sense as we practice it. Okay, so pick one of those. I'm going to say the punch in the gut seems to work for me. So punch in the gut. Now what I want you to do is lower the chin in the direction of the chest just a little bit and see how that chain of muscular events will help to engage that core even more. So do whatever it takes to draw the belly in towards the spine with your method that you're using. Then lower the chin to the chest and notice how you can get even deeper into your core engagement with tipping the chin toward the chest. Feel that? Now release that. So that's another thing that will help is a little tip of the chin that will help draw that belly in. Now get your block, place it between your thighs. All right, and now we're going to tip the chin, belly punch or whatever works for you, and squeeze the block. And notice how you can get even, it comes from the top and the bottom now. The chain of muscular events comes from the top and the bottom and lands in the core. So a little tip to the chin and a squeeze of the thighs is going to really engage that core. Can you feel it? All right, so those are other methods to help engage your core, which is why when we do sometimes sit stand, you know, it helps to strengthen your knees, but it will also engage your core to use the block in between your thighs to help get that core ready to help you sit stand. Okay, so the block in between thighs will always help to support the core. Now, if you don't have a block while you're doing stuff, going to pick something up, oh wait, I got to go get my block, just isometrically draw your legs toward each other, right? The same muscular chain of events will send those messages to the pelvic floor, to the abdominal muscles to engage. All right, so we can use all that knowledge to prepare ourselves to pick things up. Okay, let's do some yoga sit backs now. So scoot way forward in your chair. And if you think it will help you to put a block between your thighs, either wide or narrow, depending on your hip comfort. I'm going to go wide, a little bit wider today with these yoga sit backs. Walk your feet a little bit ahead of your knees. All right, so I'm sitting way forward in my chair. So first thing I'm going to do is tuck my chin a little bit, squeeze the block, and with all that helps me to engage my core. So get the core strong. Bring the hands across the chest and then start to lean back a little bit. Keep that core strong. Keep squeezing the block. Keep chin slightly to the chest. Keep squeezing the core. Feel that muscle engagement of the core. And then use that core strength to lift you back up as if there's a golden thread pulling you forward. All right, release that. Notice the difference. Take a breath in. And then you use your exhale to draw the belly in with that stomach punch. Squeeze the block with your thighs, chin towards the chest, and then start to hinge back again into your yoga sit back with the backs of your shoulder blades almost touching the back of the chair. And then hinge forward again. Release the belly. Maybe the arms want to come out to the side. Plug the head of the arm bone in, engage the back body, right? So we push out, plug in, draw the shoulder blades toward each other, chin to the chest, squeeze the block, draw that belly in, hinge back. So it's almost effortless now when you've got all those muscles engaged before you sit back, and then hinge forward again, release. Maybe the arms come up overhead. Plug the head of the arm bone in, get the back body engaged, chin in the direction of the chest, squeeze the block, engage the core, lean back. Feel that core, much more leverage when the arms are up overhead. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And use that same core strength to lift back up. Lower the arms down. Take a breath. What do you notice? That should be effortful. It should not be, you know, you should be using a lot of muscles. So now what I'd like to do is try 10 yoga sit backs, if that's okay with your back. If it's not, you're just going to hinge forward and then back up, okay? Or hands on the thighs to help support the thighs. Okay, so let's try to do 10 with all that engagement, if that's possible. Take your arms wherever it's most comfortable. You can even lift the elbows up. Slight lower chin to the chest. Squeeze the block with the thighs. Draw the belly in with that belly punch. And as you exhale, lean back. Inhale, hinge forward. Release. Exhale, squeeze, chin tuck. Belly draws in, lean back. And lift back up. Good. You choose your arms wherever they want to be. Just keep that transverse abdominal muscle engaged. Keep squeezing. If you let go of the block with the thighs, re-engage that. That's really going to send some messages to your belly. 3 more. And now that last one, can you hold it back there for just a minute and then pulse it 3 or 4 times, just little tiny pulses. Keep the core strong, maybe 10. And then lift back up, remove the block, take the feet wide, bring the forearms onto the thighs into Hakini Mudra and let the belly go. Just let it all hang out. And maybe some of you notice a release in the back body as well, where that corset wraps around the back. Find your breath. Good. Okay. And lift back up. Okay, let's do some sit, stand, sit, stand, sit, stand. So when you sit, stand, you may want to be a little bit further back in the chair with your feet behind your knees. And same type of thing. If it helps you to use the block between your thighs, I would keep it on its widest, give you a little bit more surface area, a little wider stance. Little tuck of the chin to the chest, squeeze the block, draw that belly and get the core engaged. Then hinge forward, press the feet into the floor and use all that strength to lift up to a stand. Shift the weight to the heels of your feet, squeeze the block, use that to help engage your core, and sit back down without a plop. And let's see if we can do 10 of these, all right? A little chin to the chest to tuck in, use that strength. Engage the core, shift the weight to the heels of the feet, you're light on the toes, sit back down. Good, how's that going? Squeezing that block might help if you have any knee discomfort because it will help support the thighs a little bit more. Good. And I know that this is not so hard for you because this is your homework. You do this every day. 3 more. I'm going to move the video while you're doing those. All right. Good. Oh, I have no head. I've lost my head. Go back a little further. You're in my family room now because I'm waiting for a delivery from my mom and I didn't want to miss it in case they rang the bell. Okay, so let's set the chair on the right side. Blocks can come off. Out of the way. Put you guys over here and put you on my, nope, I might lose you that way, right there. All right, a little loose coat sleeve. That will help to release the lower back. Boy, I really feel that today. Little gentle twist of the spine. Nice release of the lower back. Okay, now come to your mountain pose. Feet are hip distance apart, happy distance apart. Actually, I told you to take the block away, but let's bring it back into our inner thigh for a minute. All right, bring it back to your inner thigh because we want to use it to bring that muscle chain activation up toward the core. So, all right, mountain pose. Feet are firmly into the earth. Can you now squeeze the block? What do you notice? Little tiny tuck of the chin, little tiny tuck of the chin. And notice how that will help to, my core wants to automatically engage. Squeezing, little tuck, hands on the belly. All right, imagine punch of the belly or queen's cough or squeezing the grapefruit. Really working hard here. And then maintain all that, lift the chin up a little bit. Shoulder blades draw gently toward each other, palms face forward. How long could you sustain this mountain pose, right? This is effortful. This is a lot of work. A lot of work. Reach the arms up overhead, full breath in. All right, with the arms up overhead, plug the head of the arm bone in, soften the shoulders down. Keep squeezing the block. I want you to imagine we're going to do this while we're lying on our backs. And I want you to remember this position. Feet are flexed, pushing out through the heels of the feet. So maybe bear a little more weight on the heels of the feet. Squeeze the block, draw that belly in. Everything's active. Turn the palms away, lower the arms down. 2 more. With core engagement, inhale, arms up overhead. The back should not be arching in this. Exhale, palms lower. Keep the arms active. Last one, inhale, keep this core strong. We're going to tip over toward that left side. So lower left arm. Keep pressing down through the feet. Keep squeezing the inner thighs. Crescent over toward that left side. So press down toward earth and overhead like a waterfall. Inhale, use the body strength to lift back up. Other direction. Got to work those side core muscles as well. And then let's just go with the breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, crescent left. Keep squeezing the block. Keep the core engaged. Inhale and exhale. One more each way. Working those body muscles, the side body muscles, the waistline. One more each way. Did I already say that? Good. And last one. Both arms up overhead, palms together, hands down to the heart. Remove the block, just set it on your chair for now. We're going to come back to that. Take the feet a little wider than hip distance apart. Toes are out 45 degrees. All right, slight tuck of the chin. Isometrically squeeze your legs toward each other. All right, get the core engaged, hands to the heart. A nice breath in, and then bend the knees, track the knees over the feet. Now, if you notice your knees are inside of coming on the inside, see if you can't look over. Make sure the kneecaps are resting over the second and third toe. Really want to open up through the inner thigh. And lengthen the tailbone now down toward the floor. So tailbone is pointing straight to the floor. Keep isometrically drawing the legs toward each other. How weird is that when you're actually taking the legs away from each other? You're going to feel all kinds of stuff happening in the pelvis. Now press the feet into the earth, straighten the knees, squeeze the glutes. So squeeze the butt muscles as you come up. Full breath in, exhale, isometrically scissors, so take the legs away from each other. Nope, sorry, toward each other. Squeeze the legs toward each other as you bend the knees. All right, make sure the knees are tracked over the feet, soften your toes, tailbone lengthens, core is strong. Hold it for one more breath. And then we're going to squeeze the glutes as we lift back up. It kind of automatically happens, but give them a little help. Squeeze the muscles around the sitting bones. And release. Notice the difference. Short of breath. We're going to do that one more time. Isometrically draw the legs toward each other as you take the knees away from each other. Knees over feet. Tailbone lengthens. Belly draws in. Crown reaches up. Hands together. What if you press your hands in toward each other? Engage the shoulder blades too. One more breath. And then lift back up, squeeze the glutes, squeeze those muscles around the glutes. Good. Lower the arms down. Grab your block again, please. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. If it helps you to hold on to the chair, you're welcome to do that. We're going to do a really nice chair pose, really squeezing, using the core strength. And then we're going to take these little itty bitty steps side to side. So if you want to hold on, taking these steps for safety, go ahead. What we're going to do that is with super awareness of shifting weight. And what that's going to do is work those gluteus medius muscles. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see my chair. All right, squeeze the block, belly engaged, right? Before you do anything, shift the weight to the heels of the feet. Slight tuck of the chin. Now start to send the sitting bones back. Keep squeezing the block. Keep the core strong here. Head and neck are in alignment. We're not drooping into this. We're staying strong with the core. Keep squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Feel the core working as you're squeezing. And press up. Okay, we're going to do 10 squats. All right. Ooh. So modify yourself. If they need to be less deep, make them less deep. But this is going to really strengthen core, quads, and glutes. So you're getting a threesome, all right, for one movement. If you want to hold on to the chair to help support, you can do that too. Okay. All right, hands to the heart or on the chair. Squeeze the block. Shift the weight to the heels of the feet. Bend the knees and sink the hips. Keep that core strong. Press down, press up. Those of you with knee issues, this is really hard, but really good for your knees. All right, lift up. And 3. Keep the head and heart lifted. Use the core to support this chair. Use the core to lift you back up, pushing the feet into the floor. Good. Modify as needed. You got this. Make sure that butt is standing way back, that the knees are not going over the feet. All right, and you come over here, maybe you can see better. But the knees do not want to extend beyond the feet. You're not like this. You're pushing that butt back. Peeing in the woods without getting your shoes wet pose, right? Let's do 2 more. Use the core. You should be feeling your core really working. And last one. Ooh, all right. Shake the legs out. Now, with or without a block, it's up to you. We're going to do the side steps, but keeping the block in makes your steps really tiny because you need to keep the block in there. So I want them to be tiny little steps. It's just mindful movement. Okay. So we got the block. If you choose, holding onto the chair or not, hands would be at the heart, or using it for balance if you need a little, hands out to the side. All right. Little tuck of the chin. Notice that core engagement. Squeeze the block, go from the bottom up. Core draws it. Queen's cough or punch in the belly. Bend the knees. A little bit, not real deep. Now we're going to shift our weight to the right and take a tiny little step to the left. Real slow. Shift your weight to the left and tiny step. Just keep shifting your weight. So shift your weight to the right, take that step left, shift your weight to the left, bring the right foot back. Tiny little shifts of weight. We should be feeling this in the gluteus medius. Keep squeezing the blocks together too. Keep the core strong. It's a lot of mindfulness with this. One more time. And straighten up, shake it out. If you want to try it without the block on the way back, see if what the difference is for you. As long as you can still remember to use that inner thigh work to keep the core strong. So isometrically draw the legs toward each other, slight tuck to the chin, engage the core before you do anything. Shift the weight to the heels of the feet, sink the hips, shift the weight over to that left leg, step right. Shift the weight to the right, bring the feet back together. Shift left, step right, shift right, step left. It's a really slow movement with awareness to the butt muscles. The core is working because you're hinged, keeping that strong. And last one, sit up, shake it out. All right. If you do that every couple of days, you will notice a significant difference in your thighs, your glutes, and your core. All right. If you don't do it, things will start to wiggle around again and destabilize. So those are stabilizing exercises. All right. Okay, let's face the chair now. And let's do a nice L pose. So take the feet back, bring the head in the direction of the upper arms, bend the knees a lot, and bring the belly close to the thighs. So the belly's kind of resting on the thighs, spine is long. Take a breath in, let the belly come up towards the spine to help support this, but your belly's kind of resting on the thighs too, so that gives you some support. And then slowly walk forward again. Take the arms out to the side as a T. Internally rotate the arms so palms are facing away from you. Bend the elbows and interlace the hands or make fists on top of the pelvis like we did last week. We're going to just stretch out through the lower back and upper chest. So press in and up. Use that support to help lift the heart space up a little bit. Keep pressing in and up. Lift that heart space. Stretch. Elbows point back behind you. Another breath in. And release that. Shake that out. Okay. We're going to do warrior one from the chair and turn that into a pyramid pose to get some length in the back of the hamstrings. So facing the chair and nice and tall, we're going to step the right foot back into a warrior one. So the foot is on the floor, the whole foot, you're at a 45-degree angle. You've got to bend to that front knee, nice wide base of support, all right? Squeeze that back glute, press the back thigh bone away from you. And isometrically scissors the legs away from you now, so that front shin is pressing forward. See how balanced you feel. If you feel balanced, reach the arms up overhead. Full breath in. And as you exhale, lower the arms, straighten the knee. Press the hands into the back of the chair to lengthen the spine. Send your left hip crease back a little bit so that you can hinge forward over that front thigh. Gentle stretch. We haven't stretched the hamstrings much, so very gentle front hamstring stretch. Hold it. Keep the front body to the back body to hold the support the core. Lift back up, breath in. Take a bend to the front knee, squeeze the back glute, send the thigh bone away. If you feel stable, reach both arms up, breath in. Lengthen, straighten the front knee, lower the arms back to the chair. Left hip crease presses back as you hinge forward over the thigh again. Pyramid pose, warrior one, modified pyramid pose. You feel that stretch in the front thigh, front hamstring? Lift back up. And then bring that back foot forward, shake your feet out. And we'll go to the other side. So right foot forward, left foot steps back. All right, squeeze the back glute, lift the back thigh bone up. Isometrically scissors your legs away from each other. All right, feeling stable, one or both arms up overhead. Inhale, get length. And exhale, straighten the front knee, lower the arms down. Awareness to the right hip crease. That right hip crease presses back as you hinge forward. Keep that core engaged, hinging forward. Hold, pause here, nice stretch. Head and neck stay in alignment. What do you notice about the weight bearing on both feet? And then use your core strength to lift back up. Bend that front knee back to warrior one. Squeeze the back left glute, press the thigh bone away from you. Inhale if you're stable, reach arms up overhead, one or both. Find length. And then straighten the front knee, lower the arms down. Hinge forward, keeping that right hip crease tucked back and away. Sitting bones shooting right out behind you. Try not to be leaning over to the right side. Keep your weight balanced evenly on both sides. Good, good adjustment. Nice. And then use that core strength to lift back up and step the back foot forward. Shake those legs out. Okay, got a lot of good stuff to do on our backs now. All right, so have your strap nearby, a block nearby, and your blanket to just keep the head in line with the neck. If you don't need it, don't use it, but if you need it, go ahead. All right, so a little closer here. And everybody gets to share. Everybody doing okay? Oh. All righty. We're going to start in constructive rest pose. So that's the knees pointing to the sky, the feet on the floor, and the back resting on the earth. And just notice if you feel a release of the lower back. After doing a lot of transverse abdominis work that gets tight back there, just allow it to kind of release. Let the pelvis feel heavy, let the side ribs just kind of soften down toward the earth. And take a moment just to notice. Take a couple of lovely breaths in, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose.
Each breath in, the belly expands. The belly softens and rounds. Side ribs expand. The chest broadens. As you exhale, let all that go. All right. Now bring your hands onto your hip points, the pelvis, and then slide them a little bit in toward the midline where it's kind of squishy. All right, and then do a queen's cough or a stomach punch and see what you feel. You feel some firmness right there under your fingertips. You feel the abdominal muscles bouncing into your fingertips. That's an activated transverse abdominis. All right, when you feel that. All right, so try to hold on to that now. Hold on to that nice firmness. All right, and we're going to do what's called an exaggerated march. So keep that nice engagement. Just lift the right foot up into an exaggerated march and then slowly lower it back down. Just want you to keep your fingers there, assessing what you notice about that muscle working under your fingers. A couple exaggerated marches here. What you might also notice is that you might be flattening out your lumbar spine just a little bit to maintain this. And that will help to engage the core even just a little bit more. A couple more. And this in and of itself is a good core strengthener for a gentle way of doing it. And if you keep doing this, you're really going to get tired. So let's relax, notice the difference. No one do waste everything all at once. All right. Another really good core strengthener and lower back discomfort management tool is the clock on your backside. So I want you to think if somebody pasted a clock on your backside, and 12 o'clock is your lumbar spine, 6 o'clock is your tailbone, 3 o'clock is the right side, and 9 o'clock is the left side. All right, a quarter hour, it doesn't really matter if you can visualize that or not. All right, so bring your in constructive rest, the knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor, and bring your arms into what we normally would do in bridge pose with the arms down by your side and the palms facing over your torso. Now push the feet into the floor and flatten out 12 o'clock on that clock. So as if you have to press the 12 o'clock button, flatten out your lumbar spine. You're not lifting your butt up, you're just curling your pelvis under. All right, now draw the belly in, use that nice work to draw the belly in. Maybe even isometrically squeeze your legs toward each other and really feel how the belly muscles feel a little bit tighter. All right, release that. Come back to neutral, where the hands are in the center of the clock. That's where you're kind of just letting that be away from the floor. Now press 6 o'clock. So push the tailbone down. You'll notice that the lumbar spine arches up a little bit and you're spreading the abdominal muscles across your back, across your belly. All right, come back to 12 o'clock, press in 12 o'clock. So push the heels of the feet in, draw the belly in, isometrically squeeze your legs toward each other. And then release that, come to neutral and press 6 o'clock. You're gonna really get a nice arch in the lower back. And then move through that with the breath. Exhale into 12 o'clock. Inhale into 6 o'clock. And guess what? This is cat-cow pelvis. We're not adding the arch of the back, but this is what the pelvis does during cat-cow. Couple more. Okay. Last one, flatten, and then release. Now, can you press down a little bit on 3 o'clock on the right side? And then switch over to 9 o'clock. Can you press down 9 o'clock? Oh my goodness, I can't press 6 o'clock. I mean, I can't press 9 o'clock. You're going to find some imbalances. Like I can press 3 o'clock. For some reason, I can't press 9 o'clock. Weird. You notice any imbalances? Huh, that took a little awareness. Okay, now go 12, 3, 6, 9. 12, 3, 6, 9. Press 12. Go slower if you need more awareness. 6 or 3, 6, 9. Last one, 12, 3, 6, 9, and then come to neutral. You should be working your abdominal muscles. Now just go the other direction. Go 12, 9, 6, 3, 12, 9. It's real subtle movement, all right? If somebody were watching you, they'd see a little bit of movement, but not much. It's very subtle. Last one, 12, 9, 6, and 3. And then bring the knees into the chest and just walk your legs away from you a little bit so more of your pelvis is on the floor, and rock that back and forth. Okay. Now let's extend our arms and legs, arms overhead, legs down to the short end of the mat. If you remember, I told you we would be revisiting this mountain pose lying down. So the feet are flexed, pressing out through the heel of the feet. If it helps you to have a block between your thighs, just squeeze the inner thighs together, put a block between the thighs. All right, now a little tuck of the chin to the chest. All right, a squeezing of the inner thighs, and then do whatever it takes to squeeze the transverse abdominis muscle, the arms reached overhead, and feel the strength of the core, even lying down. It really takes a lot of effort. Now from here, even if the block is between your thighs, internally rotate your legs. So from the top of the leg bone, internally rotate so the toes are pointing toward each other. Actually take your feet a little bit wider so you're not squeezing the block anymore. And then as if, try to imagine, don't really do it, but imagine you're trying to lift your legs up off the floor. Don't really do it, but feel like you're trying to do it and feel that core really engage. You might even be shaking a little bit. 1, 2, 3, release that completely and notice the difference. Whew, that's a lot of work. Let's just do that one more time because now you know what's coming. All right, so internally rotate the legs from the top of the thigh so the toes are pointing toward each other. Reach the arms up overhead, palms facing the ceiling. All right, get your queen's cough or your grapefruit squeeze or your stomach punch in, little chip to the chin. And then as if you're trying to lift your arms and legs off the floor. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Whew. All right, lower the arms down, move the block, bend the right knee, and keep the left leg extended. Press out through the heel of the left leg. I'm gonna reach the right arm out to the side or overhead, whatever feels best for you. Now the same as if thing we did, I want you to imagine that you're trying to lift the leg up off there. So a tiny little bit of internal rotation, just a tiny bit. Draw the belly in as if you're trying to lift. And now I want you to actually press the left hand into the earth and lift the right hand into the earth and lift the right foot up off the floor a couple of inches if that feels okay in your back. I've got the knee bent to help support. If you start to rotate one way or another, really press that right hand into the floor to keep your pelvis from tipping side to side. I want the pelvis to stay really level. So lift it up a couple inches, only a couple inches, and lower it back down. Lift and lower. Use that transverse abdominal muscle to lift. All right, keep the belly drawn in as if you're trying to lift the leg, but then actually lift it. Let's do 2 more. Lift and release, lift and release. Bend the knee, bring the knees into the chest, release that. If that was too much on your core, instead of lifting, you can just kind of slide it. Slide the heel toward the buttocks and lower it back down. All right, let's go to the other side. So extend your left leg long. Extend your right arm out to the side or overhead, whatever feels better in your shoulder. Press the left palm into the floor. All right, a little tiny internal rotation. Belly draws in, chin might lower a little bit. Feel the core, the TA engaged. Once it's engaged, do the as if you're going to lift. See if that's okay with your back. If it's okay, see if you can't lift it a couple inches and lower. If that's too much, just tap it forward and, bend the knee and straighten the knee. But if you can lift and lower, lift and lower just a couple inches, the more controlled and smaller the movement, the more you're going to really more isolate the muscles we're trying to work. Can you do 3 more? Lift it, lift or tap. Last one. Ooh, bend that knee, give yourself a hug, rock back and forth, release that core. Mind your breath. Everybody doing okay? Working hard here. Okay, I saw some feet wiggle, yes. All right, good. All right, let's do our little bit of bridging now to work the, this one's tough. So if this doesn't feel like it's going to work in your body, don't do it. But this one's really tough because it requires the core strength to start with. And the move is super subtle. Let me show you what it is. I'll tell you what it is first. It's going to lift the bridge just a couple of inches, engage the core, press the elbows into the floor, and then you're going to march the feet just a couple inches off the floor. So everything's super slow, super subtle. And what you're trying to do is keep your pelvis from rocking. You're trying to keep your pelvis as stable as possible, as if you're having a tea party from your belly, okay? So we can try that. If you don't want to lift your pelvis, just march from where you are, keeping the core engaged. But if you think you can lift the pelvis off the floor a couple of inches, then you can try that, or try both. See, try it. If it doesn't work, lower your pelvis back down. All right, so let's get in position. The feet are as close to the buttocks as feels comfortable for your knees. The arms are down by your side, and when you snuggle your shoulder blades under your back. Bend your elbows so your palms face each other, nose is pointing toward the sky. All right, press the heels of the feet into the floor and press 12 o'clock down on your clock. So you're pressing the lumbar spine down, all right? And then lift the hips just a couple inches if that's right for you. All right, some of you may get a cramp in your hamstring, so be really careful of that. If it starts to ignite, stop. And then slowly start to shift your weight as you lift one foot followed by the other, super slowly and with really strong stabilization without rocking that pelvis. With just a couple of inches, you could even just lift the heel off the floor if it's too much to lift the whole foot. And one more each way. You don't know how many muscles you're working here. Oh my goodness. And then lower down. Give yourself a hug. Rock side to side. Okay. All right. And then we'll do bridge one more time, but this will be for the gluteus medius, the little butt muscle. And we've done this before, and I've had people report back, oh, they felt their butt the next day. All right. Take your feet at least hip distance apart, and then turn your feet out just a little bit, like a half of what you would do for goddess legs. So they're out just a little bit. But your knees, you want to try to keep your knees pointing more up toward the sky. All right, come back to your bridge position with your arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades under the back. Palms face each other across the torso. Flatten out 12 o'clock. So flatten out your lumbar spine. Draw that belly in. And then lift your hips and pelvis up with your knees splay. Now let your knees splay out to the side. Let your knees splay out to the side. Squeeze the butt muscles and then lower the hips back down. And then press the backs of the arms and the feet into the earth. Lift the hips, squeeze the glutes. Knees are out to a wider V, all right? And then lower back down. We're squeezing that little butt muscle on the side. So take your awareness to the gluteus medius, give it a squeeze as you lift, and lower back down. Take the knees out to the side, lift, and release. Can you point your toes more forward as you take your knees out to the side? Does that feel okay on your knees? That give you a little more work on the gluteus medius. Can you do 5 more? Lift and squeeze. Try to hold it for 2 or 3 seconds and then release. Lift and squeeze. And release. 2 more. Lift and squeeze. And last one, you should feel a little heat building up in those side gluteus muscles. And release. All right. Bring the knees together, take the feet apart. So the knees are resting in on each other. The toes are turned in, mat distance apart, and you're just relaxing the core, the legs, the whole body. Take a breath. All right, and then a full body stretch. Extend the legs long, reach the arms overhead, circle the wrists, circle the ankles. Nice breath in through the nose, out through an open mouth. And then go ahead and lower the arms down and find yourself in a Shavasana that's comfortable for you. If there's something that you need to do before you can settle into Shavasana, invite your body into that posture, whatever it might be, before you settle in. All right, a couple breaths in through the nose, out through an open mouth. Take a moment to assess your body, see how everything's feeling right now. If you could do a quick mindful body scan, starting from the feet up to the crown of the head, just like we did at the beginning of practice. Use the breath to soften any areas of tightness or tension. And then when you're ready, let go of the conscious breath and just allow the breath to breathe itself. Begin to come back into the space. Enjoy a full, rich breath in. Take a long, slow breath out. And to wiggle fingers and wiggle toes. Bring your head side to side. Bring your hands to your belly. Acknowledge the work that your core has done for you today, and remind yourself to always engage before lifting, before getting up from a chair, whatever it is you're doing. Use your core. So use your core to lift your knees up towards your chest, rock side to side, massage your lower back, and roll over onto your favorite side. Pause there for just a minute. Give yourself a little credit for doing something nice for yourself today. And then press your hands into the earth. Use that to help you come up to a nice, comfortable seat for you. Let's bring your hands in front of your heart space. If you want to unmute to Om together, that would be lovely as well. But if not, let's exhale fully. Inhale and join me for one big Om. Om. Let all the light and love in my heart honors that same light and love in all of yours. Bow your head to honor your practice. And then blink your eyes open and greet your Sangha with Namaste.
Namaste.
Okay.
Namaste, everybody.